Bitcoin rallying from $10,000 to $15,000 over the last few weeks. Talking about what's going on. Cryptocurrency to the moon, baby. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and today we're talking about Bitcoin. And guess who's excited? Guess who is excited? Well, you can probably tell that I am. Today, Bitcoin breaking through a key. I would say the last few days for Bitcoin has been key areas of resistance to be breaking through. Like I talked about in a recent video, talking about that $14,000, that $13,000 area being very important. We want to see that break. We want to see it strong. We want to see it go right through there. And guess what? Guess what, my friends? Look at it. You can see we broke through 13. We broke through 14. And now we had a high up here. I think about $15,200. Now, if we zoom out and we look at the overall bigger picture, where we are in terms of resistance and support, it's looking pretty good right now. I would expect some type of little bit of a pullback. It's totally fine if we pull back some. That's just how it goes. Bitcoin goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. But long term, it's going up, baby. It's going up long term. So let's look at the big picture here and try to figure out. Let's get a game plan going. Let's get a game plan of the next resistance, the next support areas, the areas that we want to be trading, we want to be looking at, and all of that fun stuff. So let's zoom out here. All right, so now you can see we are looking at the bigger picture, obviously. And guys, this is big news. So we broke through that resistance there. That was what I was talking about, that $13,000, $14,000 area. This is the high, that 20K. That's the high from 2018. You can see, obviously, we sold off. We kind of sold off, and we're doing this similar pattern, kind of breaking back to the upside there. And really, at this point, I think breaking through that resistance that we broke through right there at the $15,000 area, that's very, very bullish. Very, very strong to see that Bitcoin is now getting back to those levels, to levels that people never thought Bitcoin was going to get to again. You know, if you go back to 2018, you go back to 2019, when everybody was all doom and gloom, Bitcoin's going to zero, it's going to just keep going lower and lower forever, right? That's what everybody said. That's what they wanted you to think. But guess what? The same time that they were telling everybody that Bitcoin was going to zero, they were loading up. They were loading up the boat, and it's pretty simple to see what's going on here. Where is that median average? Where is that moving average that we're keeping a close eye on? And guess what? We're holding that overall trend here. This is, if you look, if we go way back, I mean, it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Let's remove this. Take away everything on here, all the lines. Let's remove this, and let's just draw a line straight like that. You can do it kind of like that, however you want to do it. You can do it however you want. But we'll just do it for purposes of entertainment and all that. We'll just kind of draw a line like that. Like I said, Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin comes down, Bitcoin comes up, Bitcoin comes down. Now, what's my game plan from here? We're at 16,000. Back in March, I told everybody, I said, hey, this pullback right there, that 50% drop, it dropped 50% that day. Or 2 days. I think that was like a daily drop. It literally dropped 50%. When Bitcoin dropped, I told everybody on YouTube, I said, hey, this might be a time to buy. And now Bitcoin went from $3,000, $4,000 there in March, right there in March. You can see that $4,000 area up there at 15. So amazing returns. Even if you had a small position, even if you had $1,000 invested, $500 invested, that's still great returns in general. Like I tell people all the time, at the end of the day, it's good to have exposure to multiple markets, multiple assets. It's good to have exposure in general. That way, let's say Bitcoin goes to, $1 million, right? Bitcoin goes to $1 million, which is very possible. Very possible. I know people are going to comment and say that's insane. It's never going to happen. But you have to think about what's really going on in the world right now. You got to think about inflation. You got to think about the US dollar just getting decimated. And the way I look at it too is if Biden wins, which it's looking like that right now, and I'm not even going to talk about that. But if Biden wins and America looks weak, and as as a country, we start, getting back to the old ways of being weak and letting our allies and letting our enemies just run the world, the US dollar is going to get destroyed. Inflation is going to be rapid. It's going to be bad. And guess what? Assets like gold, Bitcoin, silver are going to boom, baby. They're going to boom, boom, boom. Because at the end of the day, people want to protect their wealth. If you have a lot of money and all of a sudden the US dollar starts crashing and it becomes worthless, well, where are all those people going to put their money at? So it's very possible that one day Bitcoin could be worth $1 million. I know it sounds insane to say it now, but the same way that I bought when it crashed here and everyone said it was going to go to zero, the same way everyone said that it was going to be worthless by the end of the year, well, it's possible. There's always a possibility. And like I always say here, it's all about having that exposure, having exposure to these assets. If Bitcoin does go to zero, I'm not going to be broke either way. My life's not going to be over. But if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, well, I might be able to buy a new boat at that point, So that's the way I look at it. I'm basically investing in a product that is very volatile. There's upside potential, there's downside potential, but I'm protecting myself overall. And as you can see here, long term, what's the overall pattern? So, overall pattern is simple. It's going up. Bitcoin's going up since 2013, back when Bitcoin was we were tracking it when it was under $10, $20. You can see there it was about $200, had a big spike. Now, what happens here is you get these big spikes. And why do we get these big spikes? The same thing is happening today. It becomes FOMO. People start talking about it. People start making YouTube videos about it again. And all of a sudden, you get this huge influx of people chasing and FOMOing and trying to get in. And guess what happens? When you have a limited asset like Bitcoin, obviously there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin ever made, ever mined, right? There's only going to be 21 million ever. And the thing is, I would say probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 million of those Bitcoin are going to be lost forever as well. So at that point, we're like 18 million Bitcoin for the entire world. You got 18 million Bitcoin, and there's never going to be any more Bitcoin. That sounds valuable to me. Even though people say there's no value to Bitcoin, at the end of the day, it's about that idea that there's going to be a maximum amount. There's a finite amount of Bitcoin to ever be mined. And well, if there is going to be value in the future, it could have massive value because it's finite. There's only going to be 18 million, 21 million Bitcoin in the world. And if I'm a rich person, I'm thinking there's probably a good chance I might want to buy some of that Bitcoin if it's going to go, up in price in the future. Now, one thing that I want to air out some caution here. Obviously, we've had this big trend line. I would like to see Bitcoin keep kind of just, making these little steps, making little steps higher, making little steps. What I don't want to see, which is a very, I guess I want to see it, but as a long-term investor, what I might do is, let's say Bitcoin does something similar to 2017. You had a move from basically 2017, we went from, I'd say $1,000 to $20,000. And then we pulled back. We pulled back to the overall trend, which was that line right there. You see, we pulled back, had another little rally. We pulled back. But guess what happens? Same thing like with stocks. And, we're looking at a daily time frame right now. We're looking at a daily time frame. What do we got? We got waves here, right? We got these waves. And there's a good chance that we get another wave that's similar to these waves, going up and then pulling back, going up and then pulling back. Very similar. Stocks, stocks, cryptocurrency, everything moves in waves. You get this rush of FOMO. Everybody tries to buy. It pushes the price higher. The party then becomes boring. Everyone tries to sell. It pulls back to the overall median, that median average, moving average there. And that's exactly, I think, what's going to happen again. We're going to have a very intense rally, another big squeeze, and then a nice little pullback. So if we get to a point, let's say Bitcoin goes to, let's say it goes to $50,000 from here. It goes to $100,000 from here. There's a good chance I'm going to take some profit along the way because I know one thing is that Bitcoin's obviously very volatile, and there's a good chance that if it does go to $100,000 like this, it just rallies and goes to the moon. there's also another good chance that it's going to pull back to that overall moving average at some point. So as a trader, as an investor, I understand that, and that's what I'm looking for in terms of long-term play. But I'm also kind of looking at it like, hey, if we get any more of these big drops, these 50% drops like that, I'm a buyer all day. You know, if we get a little 1% drop, I'm not a buyer. But we obviously have already established that we got what? We got support, like I'd say $10,000 area being support, that $8,000, $9,000 area being support there. You can see recently we bounced. There multiple times here at the $9,000 area, right? So we bounced 9,000 there. We bounced out that 10,000 area. Now we're rallying. And like I said, there's a good chance that there's always going to be a pullback. It's just part of the game. Do I think that Bitcoin's going to go to zero when it pulls back? No. Do I think it's going to go straight to the moon? No. But I'm always looking for opportunities to buy, to sell. You know, if something does get grossly overvalued at that point, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million tomorrow, I might take some profit. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I might take some profit at that point. Let's see. I want to get the 200-day moving average on here. So as you can see, like I said, there's that moving average that we talked about. Bitcoin likes to kind of hold that moving average, that follow that moving average area. So right now we're obviously getting a little overextended here up to the $15,000 area. We should expect some type of a little bit of a pullback. If it keeps going higher, it keeps going higher, but definitely bullish to see it break through that resistance there that we already identified in previous videos. You know, multiple times that $13,000, $12,000, $14,000 area being resistance, obviously on this push here. So we've got basically, what, 18,000 as our next resistance, maybe 20,000 from there. Really, I don't see any reason for Bitcoin to stop before 18 or 20,000 if we keep up this bullish momentum. But like I said, there's still a chance that we pull back to that overall moving average. So that's kind of my game plan. Like I said, if this thing gets really, really overextended and we start just going crazy, we start going from 20 to 30 to $40,000, which is very possible. Because you got to remember, in 2017, it happened. There was days where we went up to $3,000 in one day. I mean, it was like one day Bitcoin went from 10,000 to 12,000 and then 15,000 and 18,000 and then 20,000. It just happened so quickly. And obviously we got that pullback that did eventually come. So I'm kind of looking at that at the same idea here. If we do get that, it just starts to become madness. We just get Bitcoin madness. Then I might look to take some profit along the way. But if we keep kind of holding support, we keep showing that we're holding a trend, we keep pulling back to that moving average and just kind of grinding higher and grinding higher, it's going to be a much more stable price action. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. But right now, Bitcoin above $15,000. Big day for all the Bitcoiners out there. Congratulations to everybody who bought when Bitcoin was down here at the $4,000 area, $5,000, $6,000 area. If you bought there, you're sitting pretty right now. You're looking pretty. So congratulations to that. Bitcoin, $1 million. Is it coming? We're going to find out. But right now, we got to get going. We got to get above 20. Let's get above 20, baby. Above 20. It's game on. I'll talk to you guys later on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more news and information about Bitcoin we'll see what happens. Let's go.